James Kaufman, World News Report today, December 4th, 2024. God bless you and yours, no matter where you are in the world. Please subscribe, give us a thumbs up, ring that bell for critical future updates. Ladies and gentlemen, we've had two earthquakes abutting the Pacific and Juan de Fuca plate, part of the Cascadia Subduction zone system. I wanted to go over both of those earthquakes. We've had a magnitude 4.4 earthquake and a magnitude 4.2 earthquake, basically in the same spot, again, where the Pacific plate is pushing the Juan de Fuca plate under the North American plate. We'll zoom in and take a look at that situation here. Here is one of them, but let's go ahead and zoom in so we can figure out what's going on. All right, first off, we can see we've had two larger quakes here, a 4.4 and a 4.2. They're both at the default depth of 10 kilometers here, which means they can't determine how deep they were. Basically, right at the same spot here. And this is the Juan de Fuca plate that's being pushed under the North American plate by the Pacific plate here, which is the Cascadia Subduction zone. Now, we also have a lot of action on the North American Pacific plate boundary. Some call it the San Andreas Fault. How do we know we have a lot of action there? Well, first off, we can zoom in here. The one place that the North American Pacific plate boundary is not connected here in North America, at the end of that, we have several earthquakes here. Pressure is moving north, and we can see that right there. And we also have quakes along the San Andreas, or the North American Pacific plate boundary, moving up and actually moving over into the Juan de Fuca plate area, or where the Pacific plate meets the Juan de Fuca plate. Not a good situation. Everybody that lives in southern BC, everyone that lives in Washington, Oregon, or Northern California knows exactly what the Cascadia Subduction zone is. This is an actual graphic of the Cascadia Subduction zone, one of the most dangerous subduction zones we have around the planet. We have the Pacific plate out here pushing the Juan de Fuca plate right here under, as you can see here, the North American plate here, forcing magma to the surface in the Cascadia volcanic range and even in the Olympic mountains, although there are some volcanoes like the Olympic volcano up here. So all that pressure from the plate being pushed under the North American plate is forcing the magma to the surface and could in fact cause either a large earthquake if the plate slips quickly, or in fact volcanic explosions in volcanoes like Mount Rainier, Mount St. Helens, Mount Adams, Mount Hood, which are all part of the Cascades or the Cascadia volcanic range. So I'm sure with that quick tutorial, we can all see how dangerous this situation is. This is the Juan de Fuca plate here, one being pushed under the North American plate, and these are our Cascadias, and this is our Olympic mountain range or volcanic range. We have the 4.2 here, and we have the abutting 4.4. They happen within about an hour of each other. I don't foresee much more action, but time will tell. Jumping over to volcanoesandearthquakes.com. First off, we can see all the swarming happening under these active volcanoes in Central America, which is part of North America, creating all that pressure moving to the north. We're going to zoom in and take a look at these two quakes here and get some detailed information in just a second. A 4.4 main reporting source, USGS. We also see the International Research Institute on Seismology coming in at 4.4. They usually follow the USGS. And we see the Europeans come in at a 4.3, all using the default depth of 10 kilometers. And the 4.2 The USGS calls this a 4.2, the Europeans coming in at a 4.1, and the International Institute on Seismology coming in at a 4.0, which tells me the USGS might have upgraded this earthquake. Let's jump over and get some detailed information on both these quakes. You can see our Juan de Fuca plate here, and this indicates the movement of that plate, i.e. being pushed under the North American plate even further, forcing that magma to the surface. First off, we have that magnitude 4.4 quake here, 99 miles west of Eureka, Humboldt County, California. These are very sizable earthquakes, but we have seen a 6.0 on the Cascadia Subduction zone, or at least the area, within the last 90 days. That, I believe, is the biggest earthquake I've ever seen in the area. Let's see here, a 4.4, USGS being the main reporting agency, 60 tons of TNT released. All right, comparing earthquake data from different agencies, we only have 3 of them chiming in. We have the USGS at a 4.4, the Europeans at a 4.3, the International Research Institute on Seismology, they call it Incorporated Research, at 4.4, always following the USGS. I find it strange that they don't on the next earthquake. You can see a depth given as 10 kilometers often means the depth of the earthquake could not be determined with sufficient accuracy, which is the case here. All right, this is the second quake that popped off, a 4.2 and 135 kilometers west-northwest of Petrolia, California. Today, Wednesday, December 4th. Now, there were no tsunami warnings, and I did check the buoys, and there are no buoys in event mode. This is the 4.2, primary data source, USGS, 30.1 tons of TNT released. So the 4.4 was twice as strong as the 4.2. Keep that in mind. We definitely don't have a lot of agencies chiming in on these 2 quakes. We've got the USGS, the primary source, 4.2, depth 10 kilometers default. We've got the Europeans coming in at 4.1, depth 10 kilometers default, and Incorporated Research Institute for Seismology coming in at 4.0. Now they always follow the USGS, which tells me, I'm guessing the USGS upgraded this quake, and IRIS has not done so thus far. So in quick summary, we had a 4.4 magnitude earthquake, followed by a 4.2 magnitude earthquake, really almost on top of each other. Shows that the Pacific plate is pushing that Juan de Fuca plate under the North American plate even further, forcing that magma to the surface of all the volcanoes. And that does not only include the Olympic volcanic range or mountain range, the Cascadia mountain range or volcanic range. That includes other ranges like our Snake River volcanic range, even Yellowstone, craters of the moon, all that's located just offsetting the Juan de Fuca plate on top of the North American plate. With that said, we will keep an eye on this and update you if anything new develops. God bless. Please share and subscribe, and always remember that anything's possible in Bizarro World.